Here is the April 2022 Dubai real estate market update. So let's start with sales transaction highlight, as I have both sales and rental to talk about. So for sales, this was the second highest April on record in terms of sales volume and sales value. So let's talk about it in detail. Following on from a record-breaking March, in April, we saw a total of 7,009 sales transactions worth 18.3 billion dirhams, according to the data available on the open data platform of Dubai Land Department. This is a 46% increase year-on-year for sales volume and a 67% increase for sales value when compared to April 2021. It was also the second highest April on record for sales volume and value, with April 2009 being the highest ever on record. To break it down further, 60% of the sales transactions were in the secondary ready market, with 4,231 sales transactions worth 12.9 billion, and 40% were in the off-plan market with 2,778 sales transactions worth 5.35 billion. There were 2,125 mortgage registrations in April worth 6.9 billion. Now, when we compare the data to March, we saw a 16.55% decrease in overall sales volume and 18.96% decrease in sales value month on month. The secondary ready market saw a 16.27% decline in sales transactions, and the off-plan market saw a 16.9% decline month on month. Despite the upward trend we have seen over the last year, it will be very interesting to see how the rest of the year will pan out, as it will be very difficult to continuously beat sales records month on month. Interest rates rose on May 5th by 50 base points or 0.5%, and I expect to see another increase in June of 50 base points and at least 100 base point hike by the end of the year, which could bring the Fed fund rate to 2.5%. This, coupled with high inflation and dealing with the various supply chain issues, which will continue putting pressure on construction material costs and availability, will most likely cause the real estate market to cool down in the second half of the year. With that said, each area and segment in Dubai is unique and has its own characteristics and trends. Therefore, each need to be analyzed separately. I expect for the luxury segment and prime popular areas to continue to do well, and prices will continue to rise. These are the top apartment communities for off-plan and secondary. These are the top villa townhouse communities for off-plan and secondary. Now let's talk about the rental transaction highlights. So April had 40% more Ijari registrations when compared to March. There was an 11% increase in average annual rent amount for apartments month on month. There was a 4% increase in average annual rent amount for villa townhouses month on month. In April, there was a total of 59,197 rental Ijari registrations, which is a 40% increase in the number of contracts when compared to March 2022. Of those total registrations, 45,301 contracts were for residential properties and 13,383 were for commercial units, while 513 were for other. In addition, 30,304 Ijari registrations in April were for new contracts, and 28,893 were for renewals. Within the residential sector, 36,583 rental contracts were for apartments with an average annual rental amount of 58,857 dirhams, which is an 11% increase month on month on average annual rental amount when compared to March. There was 4,064 contracts for villa townhouses with an average annual rental amount of 153,356 dirhams, which is a 4% increase month on month in average rental amount when compared to March. As inflation and interest rates continue to rise, we will most likely continue to see rents increase throughout the year, especially for high demand areas and units. The population in Dubai recently reached just over 3.5 million, and this will only increase due to the various government initiatives enticing talent and businesses to move to this city. This will have an impact on prices as most new residents will rent rather than buy right away when they come here. I also expect short-term rentals will also continue to thrive. Top areas for rentals in April. My name is Lynette Siqueto. If you want to see more updates like this, subscribe to my channel.